Welcome to a journey of breaking the mold and going against the norm when it comes to marine fridges, even in our new performance Portofino 52. Today we are diving into the reason why we are choosing to opt out of the usual fridge freezer choice that is automatically supplied in many new boats. We compare our alternative choices. Yes, a full stand-up fridge with an ice maker for our liveaboard adventures. Who would have thought? Join us as we explain why we are choosing to embark on a quest to redefine what is possible in the world of marine refrigeration. Say goodbye to the limitations of the norm and say hello to a world of convenience. So let us dive right in. Subscribe if you haven't and hit that bell icon for more adventures with us.
We also get back to our own Leopard 45 and wonder if we did the right thing, putting her up out of the water in a boatyard for 8 months as I sailed across the Atlantic. Covered with grime, Sahara sand and debris from the shipyard, tarpaulins disintegrated and torn boom bags for starters, we wonder what other surprises await us as we go inside.
We are John and Ellie, the Barefoot Doctors. We lost our new Leopard 50 catamaran to fire, so we began our search for the perfect performance catamaran for sailing us around the world. Jump on board for this adventure and together, who knows what we can achieve? Because life is better barefoot. John and I are finally back together and we are on our way back to Expedition Barefoot at last. Another season of sailing and adventure. The excitement is hard to contain. Memories of our past adventures flood through our thoughts about discovering awesome new places, learning the history, glorious crystal clear water, and not to forget the taste of the delicious food. That being said, while there is tremendous excitement, simultaneously, there, in the back of our minds, is an uncomfortable niggle and worry. You know, returning to your boat after an absence is quite an emotional journey. It's a voyage of anticipation and concern that creeps up on you, hidden beneath the surface and gnarling at you while you're away. When you're away from your boat for just an afternoon or a day, you might have thoughts like, I hope the anchor holds firm, or did other boats drag into yours if the wind picks up or change at that time? But when you've been away for several months, those concerns are no longer gentle ripples. They grow into tempestuous waves. Storm damage becomes a lurking nightmare. Dust and dirt always accumulate, but how bad is it? And even in the boatyard, chemicals from neighbouring boats could have drifted and settled onto your beloved boat, leaving you to wonder about the long-term effects. And then there's the boat itself. Has it shifted on its supports or been damaged by winter storms? Is there mold creeping in the dark corners and spreading aggressively on other surfaces? And did the batteries survive the isolation, or will the boat have a lifeless heart with nothing working? As you approach, your heart beats faster, your throat tightens. You see, it's not just a vessel you're returning to, it's a part of your soul. It's your sanctuary on the water. The questions multiply, the concerns deepen, and then, with your heart in your throat, you arrive at the boat. Not just any boat. It's a world unto itself. It's a reflection of your dreams and your adventures. You step aboard ready to see what you have to deal with. It may have been a roller coaster of emotions, this return to your boat. But at that moment that you stand on the deck, you realise the effort is all worth it. Almost everything is always fixable. Of course, the destruction by fire is not, but this is your sanctuary, your haven, and it's as resilient as your passion for the sea. It's a feeling that cannot be replicated, a love for the water and the vessel that safely carries you through it, no matter what challenges you need to face. Well, we've just pulled up at the boat, and there she is. We haven't seen her for about 8 months. Well, this is so exciting. We need a ladder.
With no ladders around, we found a block of wood and used our swim ladder to climb up onto the boat. Nothing was going to stop us now. As we looked around the cockpit, everything was covered in a thick layer of red sand. clearly from the Sahara, into every crevice and every exposed rope. The steering station was very sad. I had covered all the equipment with tarpaulins and tied them down, but they had been completely ripped apart by the storms over these months. The shreds from the tarpaulins had also spread everywhere, getting into winches, down grooves, and around the ropes. On a positive note, the tarpaulin that I'd covered the teak table with was still intact apart from one small hole on the outer edge. We had also completely sealed the outside drinks fridge to prevent it from getting wet and rusty, and that was still intact with duct tape and a solid tarpaulin. And then, with our hearts in our throats, we entered Expedition Barefoot.
Woo! We're home! We're home! Yay!
The inside looks a lot better than the outside.
Oh my goodness. Smells like our boat. Oh, it's so lovely being back, honey.
It is.
Wow. Go down and have a look at our cabin.
Of course, we do have carpets.
Yeah.
And there's not been...
Oh, welcome home.
And there's no sign of water damage. Remember, we had a leak.
Yeah, we did have a leak.
That's been fixed. That looks all great.
Wow. Yep, everything is... Oh, I'm so excited. I cannot explain how exciting it is to be back on our boat after 8 months or 9 months or whatever it is. I mean, it's just like being back home.
And there's no mold, mate.
Let's go down this to the spare cabins to see how they've fared up. So we took all of the covers off upstairs that we could possibly, everything that we could possibly take off, we took off to store down here. Wow. We even tried to protect the floor. Got stuff in here. It's pretty dirty though. I mean, yep, everything looks okay there. Spare cabin, of course, we've got lots of stuff we've put in seal bags there, but the extra stuff we just popped it in that little.
There's
it
no
does.
mold on the walls.
No, it looks fine.
The
These fared up okay. There's no mold there.
mattresses are all good.
Wow. Oh.
It's nice to be back, even though we've got a few days of work here, haven't we?
Yeah.
Just to clean up the dust, put all the cushions back, get it ventilated. But they've looked after the boat well, it seems.
Yeah.
The batteries are charged. I don't know exactly. Mind you, we do have solar, so maybe the solar's been keeping the batteries charged.
Mm-hmm. So we've got to have a look at how the pickling of the water maker went.
So yeah, we have to get rid of the pickling from the water maker. I've never done that before, so hopefully I did it right to begin with, and hopefully it'll work coming out the other end. We have to change the filter on the water filter coming into the tap, and we have to obviously run the engines and making sure there's no algae and the fuel filters are clear. So that we can only do that when we're in the water though, and obviously clean the boats.
But we did a lot of preparation. Anything stainless steel, we actually cleaned and we coated it with the silicone. So you can see there's no rust, there's nothing. But you know, we coated everything, including, you know, the dishwasher, all this, anything stainless steel we coated to protect it.
As we start to stock the boat and the fridges and freezers, we remember our past experiences with them, and they leave a lot to be desired. Here is a snapshot of what we've gone through in the past.
This freezer, we just defrosted it like about a week and a half ago, and it's frosted up already. It's just not functional.
So it's jamming again.
It's jamming again here.
So we
it
can't
frosts
open
up
that
here. And then this stops this from closing. I mean, I've just managed to close it now, but it's really frustrating. You would think that expensive, high quality of these freezers or fridges are supposed to be like the best you can get for a boat, but I'm not convinced. Absolutely not convinced. There's got to be something better. Seriously. You know, I've got better things to do than clean freezers out. I've got swimming. I've got I've got lounging around. I mean, ain't nobody got time for that.
So here we are, defrosting the fridge freezer, ice in the bucket, and this was so chock-a-block full after we've only been sailing now for 2 months, and it was so over frozen at the top we couldn't even close or open the freezer section, which obviously major pain in the backside. So this is, we've already thrown a whole heap of ice over the back of the stern, but Elizabeth's now picking up all the other ice that she's scraping off because it's been defrosting, but it was inches thick. It was like 1.5 inches thick, which was jamming the freezer so the drawer wouldn't work. So the freezer was defrosting for a few hours this afternoon, and now we just were able to get the top section out, which is there, and that allowed us to get access to chisel off or crack off the ice on the roof of the freezer, open the freezer drawer properly and get all the rest of the ice off. Elizabeth's making snowballs. She loves it. She loves being so cold.
It's so cold.
Now,
okay.
Does it make you feel like you're living in Colorado or somewhere?
Yeah.
So does this make you want a proper stand-up fridge that defrosts itself?
Yes. I don't need any thinking music or anything.
Yes, she didn't wait long to say yes, did she?
Nope, she didn't.
Bucket of ice, bucket of ice.
And we threw most of it out. I'll throw this over your head, but I cleaned the couch. So basically, guys, here I go again. I clean the fridge, if not every day, every second day. I wipe it down on the outside, because if you don't, these rust speckles of either condensation or salt, they just speckle all over the fridge and just get worse and worse. It's rust. So I try and keep it down as much as I can. It just doesn't make sense. I don't know if it's the quality of the stainless steel or whatever they use on the outside, but what I do know is there's got to be a better answer than having to do this every day or every second day, as well as the defrosting. Yeah, I mean, it just doesn't seem sensible. Here I go on a rant. It just doesn't seem sensible to have steel on a boat when you could do powder coated. I mean, I'm sure powder coating wouldn't be anywhere near as the maintenance, and it wouldn't rust like these fridges. I don't know. I mean, if you guys know anything about it, then let me know, but it just doesn't make sense to my brain anyway. Not when I have to clean it all the time.
So here is the outside Vitrifrigo fridge in the Leopard 45, the standard fridge supplied by Leopard. We have been using it now for 2.5 months this season, 2 months and 1 week actually. But first of all, I suppose notice this has very little storage capacity. You know, a few fruit, a few veggies, some eggs, and you could have a bottle or two down here. But look at this. This door is not opening, and that sounds, it's jamming with ice. And look at that. I mean, that is after 2 months.
That fridge freezer out only about a week or so ago.
So this is frosted up.
Yeah.
In the space of 2 weeks.
Yeah.
The other thing you need to look at, that everybody needs to be aware of, is this. The inside of this door separated within 6 months. Within 3 months of us using the fridge. So that's why we're taping. We have to tape it on to keep this insulation on the fridge or freezer door there. So, you know, for an expensive top-end fridge, that is really pathetic. So let's look at these marine fridges and compare them with other options. Vitrifrigos are the fridge freezers that are sold and provided on many of the big brand boats, for example Leopards, Lagoons, Fontaine Pajots, Kinetics and many more. This would really imply that they are a quality product and they are good for the marine environment. So let's look critically at the specifications and let the facts speak for themselves. So looking at our Vitrifrigo fridge freezer, it has a capacity in the freezer of 78 litres and 64 litres in the fridge, making it 142 litres, and it uses 730 watts per day. The cost is around $3,000 and it has a weight of 61 kilos. The drinks fridge is a Vitrifrigo C75, which is 75 litres and uses 480 watts per day and is around $2,200, weighing in at 25 kilos. Vitrifrigo do offer a stand-up fridge with the same fridge freezer units below, and this unit results in 150 litres of freezer space and 158 litres of fridge space, making 308 litres in total. The power consumption from this fridge freezer, as I've calculated, is around 1700 watts per day, and the cost is $6,400, and this weighs in at 100 kilos. Some of these do have the defrost capacity, but not in the ones that I looked at. So now if we look at commercial fridge freezers, the majority provide better volumes and lower power consumption at a cheaper price than what the marine fridges do. For example, the Samsung RS5000 has a freezer capacity of 240 litres and a fridge capacity of 410 litres, making it 640 litres of storage altogether, and it only uses 616 watts of power per day. The cost is much lower at $2,450, and it weighs in around the same as the Vitrifrigo at 112 kilos. So for less than half the price of the Vitrifrigo fridge freezers, you have more than double the capacity to hold your food in the fridge and the freezer, and it uses less than half the power every day. So guys, please put your comments down below if you agree or disagree with these comments, or if I've made any errors in my calculations. The bottom line here though, is I do not see any logic for ever using these kind of marine fridges ever again. I have written to Vitrifrigo to ask them to confirm my calculations and ask about the defrosting problem they have in 2 emails over 2 weeks and have not had any response. It seems that these fridge freezers do not do a good job at either storing your food adequately, being able to access the contents easily, they are not power efficient, and they are exceedingly expensive. It certainly seems to be the case here that these Vitrifrigo fridges are really only good for using if you're going on trips of 1 month or less, but if you're a long-term cruiser, then you are going to be defrosting these fridges at about the 6 to 8 week point every time. It is only by all of us applying pressure to the brands and the fridge manufacturers that we will get better quality fridges and freezers down the track.
Join us next week as we discover whether we did the right thing by wintering our boat on the hardstand. And, of course, there will be some more exciting Portofino updates. Thanks for watching, guys, and if you like what we do, show us the love and hit the like button. Then hit the subscribe button and hit the notification bell as well, so you don't miss out on your regular fix. Then kick off your shoes and you can come barefoot with us.